calling the Beach Haven regular meeting to order on the 13th of February 2018 at 7:02. And I will lead the flag salute tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the entrance hall of the Beach Haven Municipal Building and mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times, the Asbury Park Press, and the Press of Atlantic City. Mr. Caxton.
Here.
Mr. Lynch.
Here.
Mr. Maskell. Mr. White. Mayor Davis.
Here. Manager's report is next. We have a very small council tonight. Everybody's taking vacations.
Do you want to go to the minutes first?
Yes.
When we get to introduce Stacia, then I can run out.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay?
All right.
I have a November 27th, 2017 special meeting, a December 1st, 2017 agenda meeting, December 1st, 2017 closed session, a December 7th, 2017 agenda meeting, December 11th, 2017 regular meeting, December 20th, 2017 agenda meeting, and a December 28th, 2017 agenda meeting.
I did give some corrections to Sherry today. I guess you took care of those,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Does anybody else have any comments or comments on the minutes?
No.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Ordinance 2018-1C, an ordinance creating Chapter 172, Soil Erosion and Sediment Control of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, first reading.
This is the first reading because it was reintroduced. So therefore, do I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Caxtis?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2018-2C, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 212, 16 signs of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to regulate flashing, neon, animated, and digital signs, first reading.
Has everybody had a chance to read this carefully? And
Yes.
is there a motion to approve it?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Caxtis?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2018-3C, an ordinance supplementing Chapter 136 nuisances of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to include light trespass as a recognized and prohibited nuisance within the borough. First reading.
Again, this is the first reading. Is everybody read it? Is everybody comfortable with it?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
2018-5C is an ordinance of the Borough of Beach Haven establishing electric and natural gas aggregation program.
And before we vote on this, we have with us Stacia Seduto. Did I say your name right? Stacia, I'm not saying your name right.
Scaduto.
Say it.
Stacia Scaduto.
Seduto. Okay. Would you, and this is a very, I think, an exciting project where actually it'll save all the taxpayers in Beach Haven money, and if we can get other towns on the island to join us in this initiative, it'll save taxpayers throughout the island money. It really doesn't save us money, the Borough of Beach Haven. This is really something for the taxpayers. And so I'll let Stacia speak. Yeah, I'll come up there. There should be a mic up there. And because this is recorded and also will be on YouTube.
Okay.
Aha.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Stacia Scuduto. I'm here representing Commercial Utility Consultants and Concord Engineering Services. We run programs like this throughout the state of New Jersey, which is basically energy savings for residential. We also do municipals. We work with school districts as well. So both of our companies have a background in utility savings, and we've both been in business for quite some time. So what we're talking about tonight is residential electricity. Although the ordinance does cite gas as well, that's on there for in the event gas becomes a competitive commodity that we can actually work on that. But right now it's extremely low, so it's not very competitive to go out and bid out. Electric, on the other hand, is very competitive. And basically what the program does is it just resets the default rate for what you're already getting through Atlantic City Electric. So nothing changes for anyone on the program. It's very, very basic. It's very different, though, than what we would call individual third-party supply contracts, okay? So a lot of folks may be used to those from 3-4 years ago, but this program was developed by the Board of Public Utilities to offer residential reductions based off of the utility savings. However, there's many consumer protections that are built in that you wouldn't normally get on an individual basis, which is why it's very attractive. Currently, we're working with about 50 municipalities throughout the state that have already done the program or in some type of, either they've passed the ordinance or waiting for the auction date. We have many municipalities that are on their third and potentially fourth renewal. So they've been doing this for 3-4 years already. And there's been some substantial savings. We have about over $6 million to put back into the local economy through savings. So we're pretty proud of that. So 3 things. 1, nothing changes. 2, residents save money. And 3, again, it's very different from third-party supply. Some of the protections that we're talking about is there's no fees to participate. There's no fees to not participate. It has to be lower than Atlantic City Electric's rate for you guys. In order for us to actually say, yeah, we want to continue to move forward, we actually have to get a savings for you. So it has to be lower than Atlantic City Electric. On top of that, what our company's built in that is not covered by the state statute is that we watch that Atlantic City Electric rate. So once we move through the program, we're able to get some savings. We keep an eye on where ACE's rate is in the future. So if we're in a contract and the state is actually able to drop the rate that Atlantic City Electric is charging, we go back to the supplier, ask them to drop your rate as well so that you're not paying more, or we send everybody back to ACE. So this is where we built in, so we make sure that it's a win-win for everybody and no one is ever stuck in a contract that may be potentially higher that they can get with just on the utilities they have. So there again, it's a win-win for that. Again, like I said, no fees, no cancellations, and the rate guarantee. So the process, which we've started here tonight, is we're opening this up by ordinance. This isn't committing us to any rate or anything. We're just opening this up so that it allows for us to continue in the process with the state, with the Board of Public Utilities and the Rate Council. We go through, we send up the documents, we say Beach Haven and potentially others here on the island are going to participate in this, so the BPU knows who's going to be in the program, and they kind of watch it from there. We have an auction, and we present the councils with the results. Providing that, again, that there is a savings, we would make a recommendation as to move forward or not move forward, depending on where that rate is. And then a winning supplier is selected. Once that happens, everyone gets a formal notification saying, hey, good news, we had this, your rate is now going to be X versus what you were paying with Atlantic City Electric. And then again, after that, folks let us know, I'm okay, I'll stay with Atlantic City Electric. If they do nothing, they automatically get the rate reduction. So the important thing is nothing changes. So the bills all come through ACE. ACE still does the meter readings. If you're on budget billing is still available through ACE. That's very important. Emergencies, all still handled through ACE. And the main reason is because there's 2 parts of the bill. And the one part that is paying ACE is the delivery charge, getting the electric to you. The other part that we're talking about is the supply, which is the actual energy and the cost for that energy. So all we're doing is reducing the rate. Everything else stays the same. One bill, there's a line on your bill that says BGS Energy. That's just the identification to say this is where I'm getting my energy from, and this is the rate for that energy. So moving forward, it would just say XYZ energy supplier. Same bill, you still pay ACE. Again, everything stays the same. So nothing changes. And then obviously we report to you, residents are saving, we move through the process. Before the expiration of that first contract, we would come back to make sure you want to continue with it, and then we do the whole process all over again.
And it's my understanding that you can opt out of it or back into it for no charge.
Absolutely.
And so nobody's forced into this if they don't want to be in it. You're automatically in it if we vote for this.
Correct.
But if you, as a taxpayer, don't like the idea of somebody telling you where your energy should be supplied from, basically, you can say, I don't want to be in it.
That's
No
absolutely.
problem.
And it's not difficult, so again, people kind of get worked up and, oh, it's going to take me 3 months to get out. That is not the case. It's very, very easy. We have an in-state call center that's in Butler, New Jersey. Average time for those callers on the phone is about 28 seconds. So they call, they give their name, they're out. Postcard, they check the box, they put it in the mail, it's postage paid, they're out. Website, they can go on at home on their own, put their information in, they're out. There's no additional mailers, there's no calling people, it's very simplified. And again, the state statute oversees that whole thing, so we're required to make sure that we follow the stipulations.
And what's the average savings that,
We've been seeing anywhere between 8, 9 to as much as 18% savings. And again, just on the supply portion, not the entire bill.
right on the spot?
Yep.
Okay. So I think we talked about this at an earlier meeting, that it just seems like a benefit to everybody. There's nothing really to lose from it.
Just to be clear, Atlantic City Electric still does the maintenance on the lines and everything.
Yes, absolutely. They own the lines, they take care of all of that. If a pole goes down or a transformer blows, that's all under Atlantic City Electric. That's what you pay the delivery charge for. So again, nothing changes. The other thing, which I apologize, I failed to mention, is that how this is actually possible is because Atlantic City Electric does not generate the actual electricity. They haven't for 18 years. Okay, so they are actually going through a whole state process within it's either this week or next week. All of the utility companies participate. So ACE, JCP&L, PSE&G, they participate in a statewide auction. The state is the one that selects the rate that's on your bill today. So that's why this is exactly the same. So state process, they have an auction, they pick the suppliers, and they set the rate. We just take it out of the state hand and we bring it to a local level. And again, so that this way you guys are getting the benefit of those lower rates, because we're just talking about Beach Haven or Long Beach Island. We're not talking about the entire region of Atlantic City Electric.
Will the bill include, for example, here's what I would have had at Atlantic City, here's what I'm getting now?
Yeah, you'll
There'll be
see
a
that.
comparison.
Yep, there'll be a comparison
Monthly
right
month.
there. Yep.
And if other towns on the island decide to go with this, it would give us a bigger, the more people in it, the better the
Sure.
price.
I mean, and obviously because you have, residents that are not year-round, so the larger that we can make that pool,
Right.
The better. Absolutely.
I'm sure we use a lot of electric for air conditioning here in the summer.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's a good thing to get Eric in the sandpaper, because that might encourage some of the other towns. I should call them on the island to
We have
join in.
we have a couple of calls out.
Good.
We just weren't able to catch up with some folks yet. Again, like you said, lots of vacations right now. So,
Right.
But yeah, that would be the hope, obviously. And then obviously, it's like, hey, we have this program, and that actually happened in, we have a cooperative. There's actually over, I think, 11, if not 12 towns in Sussex and Warren, which is northwestern New Jersey, and 7 towns started, and then the next town said, hey, how come we're not doing that? How come we're not doing it? So it's actually grown pretty exponentially since last year.
It's great. I learned about this at an Ocean County Mayors Association meeting, and the mayors that I talked to from off the island have raved about this. So, are there any other questions from council?
Questions?
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to ask a question now, since Stacey's here?
Do I have to come up to the mic? I have a question.
Just state your name, Bill.
William Barris, Bill,
Hi, Bill.
100 Northwest Avenue, Beach Haven. I happen to find the electric in Beach Haven to be very cost-effective already. And I get worried because my electric bills in other municipalities where I own properties are a lot higher than they are here. If something's not broke, I don't know why we need to fix it. And are we sure there's going to be savings? Because I look at my restaurant's electric bills and my personal electric bills, and they're less expensive here than probably any place I am, much like the taxes. So I think we need to be careful when we look at this kind of stuff.
Well, and if I didn't say it loud enough.
I'm gonna sit back
or-
down.
Yeah, sure. Just to reiterate, in order for us to actually move forward with the program, and this is mandated by the state statute, it has to be lower than what Atlantic City Electric pricing is. So if we can go through this whole process and get to an auction and not really produce any savings, we can't move forward. We're legally prohibited to. So the whole point is, and look, I'm not cutting your bill in half, I wish I was, but let's just say Atlantic City Electric's at 10 cents, which I think they are, give or take, and we come in at 9 cents, you're saving a penny per kilowatt. Any savings is a savings. So, and again, nothing else changes. So there's nothing really, if it's not broke to not fix, all you're doing is getting a reduced rate.
How do you get paid?
We get paid by the supplier. So it sort of works like a broker relationship. So once the deal actually is able to move forward, then that winning supplier pays us our commission. If there's no program moving forward, we don't get paid.
Another question.
Gary Moon, how come it's not an opt-in program?
Good question, we get that a lot. When the state started this back in 2003, it actually was an opt-in program. It failed. So it's very, very difficult on many levels because you have to go around and there's obviously a lot of marketing, a lot of costs. And so because of all of that, people knocking on doors, people don't like that. Because of all of that, the suppliers could not really offer any savings for people because now you're taking that difference in savings and having to pay people to kind of go around and get people to sign up for it. So it failed. So the state took it off the shelf, or took it off the table rather, and they said this isn't working and we're not going to do it. And then about 5 other states throughout the country changed and started opt-out programs, which were working. So that in 2012 they said, okay, we're going to kind of follow that model because it's been successful. And the other thing is, again, the suppliers kind of have to know, look, I have 1,000 residents, and they can run their formulas based on that, and they know how many people are typically going to opt out, which is about 10 to 15, 20%. So on average, 80% of the people will take a reduction.
All right, how about the third party? You talked about the third party. They call me almost every week offering me a deal that's better than Atlantic City Electric. How's your deal going to be better than them?
Well, it's not to say that it won't, okay? Because this is based on, we're talking about a commodity, right? So it's all dependent on when we go to auction. Right now, even though it's been kind of cold, the market has been pretty low. It's not to say if we go through the summer and it's only 70 degrees every single day, that you couldn't find a cheaper rate, except for the fact that you have to read that fine print. And this is actually one of the reasons the BPU made this program, because people weren't reading the fine print. And who does? Nobody clicks the I agree when they click that button on that, nobody reads it. So you could get a rate that's 5 cents, except what you aren't reading is that in 4 months from now, it's going to be 20 cents. So this does not allow that. It's a flat rate the entire time that we're in the contract, so it does not permit the fluctuations. And in addition, it doesn't have any of those cancellation fees, early termination fees. Again, that's all prohibited. So you can find something, you're just not going to have those protections.
All right. Why
Can
would-
Borough opt out of this at any time if we don't, if, let's say we're unhappy with it or we have complaint? I can't imagine we would.
Yeah, actually, since CUC and Concord is handling, you know, the opt-out process, if you guys kind of like, look, everybody's very, very unhappy with this for whatever reason, then we would opt everybody out and everybody would go back to
Okay.
Atlantic City Electric.
My point is, by the town passing this ordinance, they're actually changing my electric without my permission.
Well, see, and that's one of the main points of feedback that we get. But that's why I wanted to make sure that everybody has to understand, government is already doing that. The state picks your energy supplier and the rate that you pay today. So you have people in Trenton at the BPU this week getting ready to set your rate for next year. And so, again, they offered this program as an option for you to say, hey, I can get a lower rate, I can stick with ACE, or you can do it on your own. So that my answer to that is the state's already doing it, government's already doing it. If it were me, I'd prefer it to be on the local level because I know these folks are going to take you into account.
Yeah, I don't think we need that much government back there.
Mr. Moon, I have to have an address on record for you. What can I put down?
501 Leeward Avenue.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to ask a question? Okay, so we'll vote now on this ordinance. Okay.
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Do you want me to stay for the public portion or?
I think we covered it.
Yeah, we're good. You can leave.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very
I'll
much.
see you
coming.
next month.
Yes, okay.
Ordinance 2018-6C, an ordinance amending Chapter 173 Solid Waste of the Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey to clarify collection for business and commercial establishments. First reading.
This ordinance makes it a little easier during the winter for businesses that they saves them a little money so they don't have to hire a private hauler to haul their trash away. The Public Works will do it for them, but it's only once a week. So if they are doing a pretty good business in the off-season, they might still have to have a private hauler. But some businesses are very small, they don't have a lot of trash. This is first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
The treasurer's report that I had, I will lay out in full in the minutes. I won't have it to present tonight.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
All matters listed under item consent agenda are considered to be routine by the municipal council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds, and any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Resolution 39, approving certified list of eligibles for the Beach Haven Volunteer Fire Company, number 1, or LOSAP. Resolution 40, acknowledging a mayoral appointment to the library board. Resolution 41, clarifying the 2018 professional services appointments for prosecutor. Resolution 42, authorizing the execution of an agreement with the County of Ocean for animal facility services. 43, authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Borough of Beach Haven and the Community Arts Program for use of Veterans Park. 44, returning piling bonds. 45, supporting the 9th Legislative District sponsorship of S2461 and A4209. Resolution 46, authorizing to advertise for bids for ice cream vendors. Resolution 47, authorizing submission of raffle applications 1 through 4. Resolution 48, permitting sidewalk sales in the Borough of Beach Haven. 49, authorizing application to the County of Ocean for the Tourism Promotional Matching Grant Program. Resolution 50, authorizing submission of raffle application number 5. Resolution 51, returning a dumpster bond. 52, authorizing the return of street opening bond. 53, authorizing return of performance bond and remaining escrow from the Shelter Harbor Dredge Project. 54, awarding a contract to Jones Turf Management for the 2017 William Butler Annex Reconstruction Project, Phase 4. Resolution 55, authorizing to advertise for bids for the 2016 DOT Dock Road project. Resolution 56, authorizing an agreement between the Borough of Beach Haven and the Chamber of Commerce for Chowderfest. 57, authorizing an agreement with Jetty Rock Foundation for use of Taylor Avenue for hot sauce. 58, opposing the New Jersey offshore oil and gas activities. 59, authorizing execution of the 2018 Schedule C agreement with the County of Ocean. 60 is the EEOC compliance affidavit. 61, authorizing the refund of residential development fees. Resolution 62, authorizing to advertise for bids for the horizontal pressure filter maintenance. 63, canceling water charges, 63, canceling water charges. 64, authorizing the execution of an additional contract with Danker and Safco for furniture at the Borough Hall. 65, budget transfers. 66, authorizing submission of the 2018 CDBG grant application. 67, approving change order number 1 for the pavilion project. And 68, emergency temporary appropriations.
Is there anybody on the council that would like to remove one or more of these resolutions for special consideration?
No.
Is there a motion to approve the resolutions?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Mr. Caxtis?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
I have a bill list this evening in the amount of $3,986,533.03.
Has everybody read the bills and
Yes, I have.
got their questions answered?
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to approve the bills?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Caxtis?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. Okay, now we come to the fun part, open the meeting to public comment. So this is your opportunity out there to get up and speak. If you do come up, come to the podium, state your name and address. My goodness, nobody wants to get up and speak. Okay.
My name is Lori Anderson and my address is 1001 West Avenue. I'm just curious, I drive by the New Borough Hall every day and I'd like to hear an explanation about the sidewalk that goes out onto Ingleside Avenue. Do you get calls about that every day?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we were a little pretty concerned about it too because it looks like there's not going to be much space there for traffic going both ways. Our engineer, Frank Little, has assured us that it's going to work. And he keeps saying, trust me. So,
That's my heart. I mean, I'm going, God, I hope they know what they're doing. I really hope that I'm not thinking the worst here, but.
well, if it doesn't work, it'll have to be redone. But I do have confidence in Frankie. He's the engineer for all the towns on the island as well as Stafford, and he's very good. And I agree, we've been very nervous about all of us and have been saying,
Well,
gee.
I'm glad to hear that. It's
Yeah.
the maintenance of.
Right, it looks, we didn't, in fact, we didn't really think that on the north side of the street in front of the old bookstore, which is now the doctor place, we didn't, that was surprisingly large. We knew it was going to come out where the Borough Hall is a bit, but Frank says it's going to be fine, so.
Yeah, we met with Frank on, was it Wednesday of last week or Friday of last week? Sherry, myself, and Frank, we went out there, we measured everything with Frank. Frank has assured us that's going to be fine. The one reason it's wider on the one side than the other is because we did paint yellow lines there or have a sidewalk there because cars cannot get over there. One of the things that Frank is going to do is he's making sure that the stop when you're going east on Ingleside Avenue is sufficiently back so there's no interference with cars making a left or right-hand turn on the Ingleside Avenue going west. He also assured us that what he's going to do is he's going to reline the entire Ingleside Avenue all the way up to the beach. So right now it's you know, you don't see exactly where the lines are where cars could park and where what the right-of-ways are, where the center lines are and everything else. He's going to be doing that. He's assuring us, based upon meeting with them the other day for a good hour that it will work, and it's gonna work fine.
Is this the only place in Beach Haven we're gonna do this? I mean, next year, as we grow and develop, we're not gonna, I guess you have to wait and see how this.
Well, we'll see how this goes. I mean, it would be nice to have, I mean, some of these bump outs are really nice because it looks nicer.
Right.
And in some ways, it's safer to cross the street because you can walk out to the end of the bump out and cross from there. But I mean, it's not inexpensive to build these, and number one, we just have to see how this works out.
And is it a real fact that if it doesn't work, they could be removed?
If it doesn't work, it's going to have to be removed. We have one of our police officers here. I mean, if it becomes a hazard, it will. And we have all been sort of nervous about it, but I mean, Frank is a real professional. He's put a lot of thought in it, and so we are hoping, I trust him, so hopefully it'll be okay.
There's no shoulder. I mean, the road goes right up to that curve.
I
as it
know.
looks
The worst
like.
thing I'm worried about is bike. You know, well, we do have an ordinance now that you can't ride bikes on the sidewalk on Bay Avenue. And you can't ride those big wide, carriages on Bay Avenue. So that, we're a little worried about that, but we're thinking about it. That's all I can say. I'm hoping that
Well,
Frank's right.
actually, the ordinance says you can't drive a bike anywhere on Bay Avenue.
Well, no, on the
No,
sidewalk.
on the sidewalk, on the street you can ride on the sidewalk. But you can't ride those big carriage bikes on the street, but on the sidewalk you can't. We have too many elderly people that got nervous about bikes on the sidewalks. You can push your bike on the sidewalk.
Like I said, we met with Frank, spent an hour with him, we made some suggestions. He's gonna reline all the streets and all the parking spaces and all the traffic patterns, and I think that'll the visual right now is, had us questioning it, and he's saying the visual will make sure that everything's good and it should work out fine. That's what he's telling us.
And is this a result of the borough building being too close to the front?
No,
No. No.
It's not. You designed it so we wouldn't have the angle parking in front, that was all in the plan originally?
We moved out, we widened the sidewalk a little bit, and we have parallel parking in front of the borough building. There is there's no diagonal parking there.
Yeah.
And one of the things we will probably be providing is the parking in front of the borough building and along the side will be limited time, maybe limited to a half hour, no more. So that when people go to the borough hall to do business, it's not gonna be occupied spaces by people staying there for long periods of time.
All right, well, thanks for hearing me.
Thank
I'm
you.
concerned.
more than welcome. Anybody else like to get up and speak?
Name's Gary Moon, 501 River Avenue. I was wondering if there could be something done with West Avenue between Nelson and the yacht club. I was wondering if they could paint lines on it for people to walk and bicycle.
We've talked about that.
And there's no white line down the middle of the road either, so
We
you
talked
don't.
about lining all of West.
What?
We talked about lining all of West.
And we talked about putting parking places all along West Avenue too.
That would make it even worse, but
We've
summertime-
talked about it.
in the
I don't know that
summertime-
there's been any decision made
in
at
the
this.
summertime, people walk down the middle of the road. I thought if you made
I know,
walking
it's a
lines-
big biking and walking,
Yeah, I know,
road.
but if you made lines, maybe people would at least leave one of them for a car.
yeah, I know,
Not always.
I know.
All right, thank you.
Good point.
We do have a slow speed limit though.
Oh, that's not bad. I live there.
Any other questions? All right, I will close the floor to public comment, and now we have the final remarks by council. We'll start with Mr. Cactus.
I have nothing specific tonight.
Mr. Lynch?
Mine is just to remind everybody that the turkey dinner is coming up, which is our annual turkey dinner, which is really well received in the town. I just want everybody to be sure that they're going to be available.
Or at least send some money in.
That's a good idea. Send some money in. I just want everybody to be available. Okay?
It's always fun. How many, is this the 99th or 100th?
101.
I don't know.
101?
Past year,
Wow.
The firemen have been serving turkey dinners to people in Beach Haven for it'll be 101 years. So you guys that are young in the audience, maybe you should come to this turkey dinner. You get a lot to eat for your money. And the funds go to help buy fire engines and all the fire equipment. It's great.
People think that this is kind of a prelude to spring,
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
and it's really kind of a nice
Better
thing.
than Groundhog Day.
Good to see a lot of your friends come in
Yeah.
for the day, so
It's fun.
please join everybody.
All right, and the only thing I have to say is the Borough Hall, I think the Borough Hall is looking very good. The shutters are going up, and I took some pictures to put on Instagram. They look great, and it looks like we might actually be moving in there sometime soon, so.
Pray for warm weather.
exciting.
Please.
Right. Right, we need warm weather so the cement can harden.
The sidewalks can be put in.
That's right. We can't get the sidewalks in until we have, it has to be what, over freezing for 5 days in a row or something.
It's gonna take about 10 days.
We're not
Yeah.
going to get that.
All right, so that's all I have to say, and so do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Well, this was.